Now to this. The House Oversight Committee is investigating Joe Biden's autopen use during his presidency, as Axios obtains disturbing audio recordings from Biden's 2023 interview with Special Counsel Robert Hur over his mishandling of classified documents.
In the course of explaining that memo about Afghanistan, you said to Mark, "I just found all the classified stuff downstairs." And so you can imagine, we are curious what you meant when you said, "I just found all the classified stuff downstairs."
I don't remember. I'm not supposed to speculate, right? So,
correct.
Okay, well, I don't remember, and it may have been. I just don't remember.
Okay. Do you remember telling Mark about the handwritten memo that you had written to President Obama?
I probably did. I don't remember specifically, but my guess is I may have done that.
Okay. Do you remember telling him, "I just found all the marked classified stuff downstairs"?
Mark?
Telling Mark. Do you remember saying that to him?
No.
Okay. Do you remember actually finding any classified stuff downstairs?
No.
Well, Biden also failed to remember when Trump was elected president.
And what's happened in the meantime is that Trump gets elected in November of 2017? 2016. All right. So, why do I have 2017 here?
That's when you left office, January of 2017.
Okay.
And even more tragic was when Biden forgot when his son Beau died.
Where did you keep papers that related to those things that you were actively working on?
Well, I don't know. This is what, 2017, 18, that area?
Yes, sir.
What was happening, though, what month did Beau die? May 30th,
2018.
was it 2015 he died?
2015.
I think it's 2015.
I'm not sure the months are, but I think that was
Yeah.
That's right, Mr. President.
Now Republicans are trying to find out who exactly was running the White House under Joe Biden.
It clearly shows that he was in significant mental decline. It questions who was actually making the decisions. We're going to bring everyone that we believe was involved in any role in the use of the autopen. We're going to invite them to come in for a transcribed interview. If they want, then they will receive a subpoena and they will have a full-blown deposition.
Okay, so Jason, these transcripts were out previously. Everybody read them. We had a really good idea of what was in them. But I think what struck me is to hear them, to hear the audio recording really makes it brings home the reality of the situation. It was tragic and painful to listen to some of that.
It really was. Look, there are more than 6 hours of tapes. We've only heard less than 13 minutes, but it paints a picture that is, quite frankly, pretty devastating to the cognitive capability. And remember, the bombardment of people that had this, taking criticism for even questioning the vitality of the President of the United States. It does go into what James Comer is looking at. The Oversight Project, of which I've personally been involved, has been looking at this autopen situation. James Comer, the Oversight Committee, will be doing this with depositions, because it really begs the question, who was actually in charge of the White House at that time? And the last point is I got to host Hannity last night. We had Brett Tolman, former U.S. prosecutor there. The softball nature and questions, this is a potential felony. Yeah. These are federal law enforcement officers in an interview from the Department of Justice coddling the president as easy and soft as you possibly can. he at least said in his years as as U.S. attorney, never did they ever see such a softball interview as they gave the president.
And Lisa, they were still running him for president. I mean, there was nothing stopping them. He was their guy.
Yeah.
Well, it's not a cover-up, it's a betrayal. It's treachery. It's a conspiracy against the American people that these people committed. And if they could do this, what else are they lying about?
No.
What else have they lied to us about? And Joe Biden deserves no sympathy.
Yeah.
He willfully and intentionally stole classified information when he was a United States Senator dating back to the 1970s and the 1980s, and then again as vice president, and then bragged in 2017 to his ghostwriter about knowing that he had this classified information in his house. So he does not deserve your sympathy. And you look at all these pivotal moments, all this chaos we've experienced over the years under Joe Biden, the botched withdrawal from Afghanistan that left 13 service members killed, Russia's invasion of Ukraine, Iran via Hamas attacking Israel. How much of that maybe would have been prevented if we had a mentally competent president in the White House? So these people put us in harm's way. Yeah. We need a reckoning. Trot them in front of Congress, subpoena them. If they defy it, send them to jail like they did Steve Bannon.
Absolutely.
And, to Lisa's point about all of these things that happened, Gianno, who was running the country? Who was it, do you think, was making these decisions?
That's a legitimate question there, and I fully agree with your entire sentiment there, Lisa. I got to tell you, I think it's generous to say that Joe Biden was simply in mental decline. I think what we saw was a legal strategy. Say you don't remember anything. They can't nail you to the cross on this point or that point because you don't remember anything. You don't even remember when your son passed away, unfortunately. This is a problem. And to Lisa's point, they need to bring about everybody, even the attorneys that were involved in that interview process, the preparation of it. What were those conversations like? What did they tell them? Because they were all involved in a big lie. And it's unfortunate that this is the reality that our country, to your point, has faced for 4 years. Them knowing that there were some issues there, helping them cover it up. And then we don't know to this point who was running the country. Was it Jill Biden, his wife? Was it one of the staffers, one of the young staffers there? We have no idea, but there has to be a full-blown investigation on this.
Yeah, and James Comer, he likes to get to the bottom of things. Do you have confidence that he's going to find something out?
Well, yeah, there's a list here. I mean, it starts with Jill Biden. But if you start to look at the senior staff and the attorneys within the White House counsel's office, they had a fiduciary responsibility to inform the Attorney General, to perhaps the Gang of Eight. There is a mechanism there when they see a president who is incapable and just cognitive decline. They had a bigger obligation to the United States of America than they did to Joe Biden.
That's right.
And to say that Jake Sullivan, whose office is mere steps away from the Oval Office, had no idea when Joe Biden was calling him a different name. I think he called him Steve at one point. This is a guy who's known the guy for decades. That they have been lying to our face, and it put the country in potential peril.
What's that? Don't pee on my leg and tell me it's raining.
No.
That's one way to say it.
They use another P word anyway.
Anyway, yeah, it is hard to imagine that those closest to him and in the office next door didn't know that there was something wrong. Yeah. But James Comer will get to the bottom of it.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.